In a previous video, I've spoken about NPS in the context of the National Pension Scheme. However, taking the lead from yesterday's video on valuing a business's Instagram or social media profile, there started a discussion on what other possible metrics are available to be able to value recall or the brand loyalty for a particular startup or its product or service. So here comes another concept abbreviated as NPS. It is the Net Promoter Score. So what is the Net Promoter Score? Basically, you try and understand from your followers or your customers as to what is the likelihood of them recommending your product or service within their circles. So people who rate your product or service on a scale of 0 to 10 as 9 or 10, which is most likely to recommend it to a person that they know, are known as promoters. People who rate it as 7 or 8 are known as passives. And then people who rate it between 0 to 6 are, of course, detractors. The idea of calculation is such that you take the percentage of detractors and subtract that from the percentage of the promoters. So your final score will range between a -100 to a +100. A net promoter score or an NPS of anywhere between 50 to 80 is considered to be great, which essentially means that these many percentage of people over and above the detractors are willing to promote your product or service within their circle. So the word of mouth marketing of your product is great. So as we mentioned, this is a metric to actually value how recommendable your product or service is. Now, why do startups calculate this, and what does the movement of the NPS look like over the life of a startup? Initially, you may actually garner a lot of people who are early adopters of your product and may really like it, have a lot of loyalty towards what you're offering, so your NPS may be higher. However, as you achieve scale and you add more variety in the kind of people who use your platform, there is a possibility that the NPS may slip over time. So how do you calculate this? You actually calculate it by asking just this one question, by asking your users to rate it from 0 to 10 about how likely they are to promote it among people that they know. So the NPS is used by most startups. It is benchmarked against NPS scores of their competitors. It gives them an idea about the brand recall, about what is the retention or the brand loyalty of their product. Again, if you run a startup, use this as a metric, and I'm sure this can definitely be built into an exhaustive model of valuing a business's social media profile or brand recall in general. Again, just throwing this out as a concept and willing to discuss this further. If you do have any ideas on other metrics which are essential for businesses to track with respect to brand loyalty, retention, throw them out. I'd love to discuss them and put together a webinar free of cost available to everyone to discuss this idea in a live platform and take this discussion forward.